Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm your host, Bob DeMarco. Tonight, I'm going to have Slicey Dicey, you know him as Brian, on the show. And we're going to talk, well, all about what's new with Brian and what's going on with Knives Illustrated. And man, I have noticed he's just gotten a scad of awesome new knives recently. And I want to find out which ones are his. I think I know which ones are in for review, and just kind of catch up. It's been a while. Slicey's been down for a minute, but there's no holding that guy back. So we're going to talk to him tonight, but also we're going to talk a little bit about what's coming up for the Knife Junkie Town Hall and some other stuff, a new knife drop, etc. Bill S says, Bob, I hope you're well. I am at work. Thought I would just stop by and say hello. Hope the Super 15 is treating you well. Haha, funny you should mention that. It is right here. Boom. And hope Slicey is recuperating well. I will pass that along to him. And here this is. It has not really left my side much recently. Great knife. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate it. Caleb Townsend, speak of the devil, sir. How are you? I was just going to mention how Caleb Townsend, one of the patrons, he's a gentleman junkie, won the Cold Steel SR1 Light last week in the Patreon giveaway. And so I just wanted to show you Caleb's page real quick. This is his latest picture. That's a handsome, handsome knife he's got there. But if you look at the rest of his feed, he's got a pretty amazing collection. He's got some very cool and classy knives, interesting designs, emblematic designs, and just some, I love that, the third one. I mean, I love them all. I really do. But that Serge Panchenko sort of straight razor looking thing. Wow, what a cool knife. So Caleb, once again, won that. And that's because he is a $10 a month patron. And it's greatly appreciated. So thank you, sir. Coming up on Saturday, the 8th of August. I'm sorry, I can't believe we're already almost in August, or at least talking about it. That is my birth month, which means I'm 1 year away from something pretty big. But anyway, in August 8th, Saturday at noon, we are having another Knife Town Hall. And this one is going to focus a little bit more on makers coming on and kind of showing their wares. Of course, you know, that's the weekend of the canceled, rescheduled Blade Show. And Jim and I were planning on having something in August anyway, and we figured, well, why not have it that weekend if there's a big gaping hole in the knife show schedule. I'm sure plenty of people are going to be doing things on that day, and we figured we'd have some of our friends on. A couple of people have already said yes, and we just sent the invitation out. So some friendly faces, some you've met before, and some you have yet to meet, such as Sanford Owen. He has not been on the Knife Town Hall yet. We just spoke the other night, and that will be a podcast soon. But he represents Monterey Bay Knives. Man, very cool, classy knives. Classy seems to be the word of the night for me as my throat goes dry. Excuse me one moment. Let you gaze upon the graphic beauty that Jim just put together. Oh, look at that. Huh, Knife Junkie sticker. How about that? Pretty cool. So please make sure that you make it to the Knife Town Hall. It will be at noon Eastern Standard Time on Saturday, August the 8th. Dirk, lovely to have you, sir. How you doing? Good to see you. Chad, also great to have you. So yeah, Knife Town Hall. It's a show and sell, kind of like a show and tell, but a show and sell. So knife makers will come on. They'll show some of their wares. You can buy it right there or get on their books or however it's going to work for them. We do not get anything out of it except an awesome show. That's what Jim and I are all about. We would love to have all of our best friends, best knife making friends come on and that would be our reward. So anyway, Jim, can you put up that last Dave Everett, this old sword comment? Evening, sir. Good to see you. Oh, yes, as usual, the usual suspects. Bad Monkey, good to see you, sir. Bad Monkey EDC. Kellen FK. Hello, all. Hello, Kellen. Lovely to have you, sir. Manny Z, hey there, what's up? As we get going, Knife Whisperer, how you doing? I just saw an email that came to me from Patreon from Knife Whisperer. Thank you, sir. That is greatly appreciated. I will have your sticker out in the mail and your mention on Wednesday. Mark Herrera, good evening, sir. This is a pocket check to everyone out there who might be by a keyboard. Let me know what you were carrying today, and I'll show off what I was carrying today. This is my CQC 13 by Emerson, but I just sent it out to a guy on Instagram that I've been following for a while who goes by Blades and Such. His name is Tom, and he does exquisite micarta work. I asked him to do a micarta scale. Hey, Kane, how's it going? Natural 10 micarta scale. And he does this sort of grooving. What do you call it? Knurling. Beautiful job on the knurling there. And it's tan canvas micarta for Emerson's. He also does ZTs and Hinderers and Les George knives. So me with knives, good to have you. So this is what I was carrying today, the CQC 13 with the new micarta handle scales. And I'll be darned if I don't think it took a handsome knife and made it a heck of a lot handsomer. Yeah. And incidentally, it's already taken on my natural fleshy oils or whatever that is, and it's starting to get a little bit of a micarta patina, which is something I love. I think that's probably something that a lot of people who love micarta love. Brian, how you doing, sir?
Hey, how's it going?
Not bad at all. Even better now that we have you. How's it going?
I'm still kicking. That's about all I can say right now.
So you've had some health news recently, and
Yeah.
but you're on the upward swing. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I got the COVID, so that was not fun. Do not recommend it. 0 stars. It was no good. Yeah. Apparently I had it for a while and didn't know it.
Really?
And then according to my tests, and then I came down with it really bad about a week ago Monday, and it was awful for about a week. And now I'm coming around okay. I'm just really tired. Like if I do anything stressful things like eat,
Wow.
wears me out. And but ironically, I feel awful because my wife and my kids, they have no symptoms whatsoever. They seem to be fine. I probably got it from one of them, and they just didn't show symptoms. But we haven't gotten all their test results back. But they're still quarantined in the house. I'm allowed to leave because I'm negative now, and
Right.
so I'm allowed, and I feel awful, about it. But my punishment is that like I had to go to the grocery store today because nobody's left the house, in 2 weeks. So I had to suck up and go to the grocery store. That was exhausting. Like
God.
I was spent, but somebody had to go. But it's funny now that I know I have the antibodies. I'm out there, I'm wearing my mask, doing all that
Alex.
stuff, but I'm like, I'm invincible, because I can't catch it now. So I'm gonna go out and start licking handrails or something. I don't know, but yeah, for the next couple of months, I can't get it. But yeah, it's not good. I do not recommend it. Wear your mask, people.
So what was it that set it off? If you said you apparently had it for a long time.
The theory is I had a bad tooth, and the theory is from my doctors that I probably got some kind of infection from that, and it lowered my immune system enough that I finally got symptoms. And yeah, that's what the theory is right now. But I had one of those quickie tests on Monday, and I'm negative. So by the time I actually went in to the doctor, I was kind of actually already getting over it. So I never knew I had it.
That's great news, and I hope your return to full health is quick. But from what I hear, you're going through something typical, this sort of exhaustive battle.
Yeah, they said the fatigue's probably going to last another month or two, so I hope not. But it's just like if I go up the stairs, I have an Apple Watch, so I have the heart rate monitor and stuff on it. Like when I go up the stairs, my heart rate checks up to like 115, 120. And
wow.
I have to like rest for a minute, and my normal heart rate is usually like in the 60s, 70s at the most, and now it's like 90 is pretty average. So still fighting something off, but not contagious, doing all right. So yeah,
Well,
but
you've had
I'm
you.
still. I see that comment. Yeah, I'm still acting like I'm not immune. I'm still wearing my mask and all that, but the mask doesn't help you much. It just helps everyone else not get it. So I always wore my mask. I was very good. I followed all the rules, and I still wound up with it. So and it's what's funny is in New York right now we're pretty good. Like I'm in Rochester, New York, and pretty low rates and stuff. Of course, I get it on the way out, but
Yeah,
it's
right.
it is what it is. But I had swine flu too, so I shouldn't be surprised, when that was a thing.
You got swine
So
flu too, huh?
I got all the cool diseases.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, you're a historical. That's pretty interesting. Well, I saw a lot of very good wishes, well wishes, up on the screen. Everyone's excited or happy to see that you're on the mend. And I gotta say, it's hard to tell from your videos, from your voice, that anything is happening.
Yeah, but I usually do a video then take a nap. It's
Yeah.
it's kind of like it's the mental stuff is still difficult. Like I forget. I'm just having a really hard time. It's funny when we get to new knives coming in. I just got a big box of knives from Southern Edge Knife Works today. I don't remember ordering any of them. It's just like that. And apparently I did. And then for Knives Illustrated, I on Monday when I was feeling better and was quote unquote back to work. I emailed a bunch of my writers to give them assignments for upcoming issues. And they're like, yeah, you told me that on Thursday. I'm like, I emailed you on Thursday? Like, I had 104-degree fever on Thursday.
Oh,
But
man.
apparently I was emailing people, and I don't remember that. But all
Well,
right.
I have heard that there's some sort of mental component that comes along with the exhaustion. So I guess
Yeah.
that's what you're experiencing, man. Well, it's really something you can be grateful for, that you went into it as a healthy person.
Yeah, that was what the first visit I went. I did the spirometer or whatever. You got to blow on that thing with a little ball. And the doc said, my lung capacity was excellent. And, she said, even if you get pneumonia, you'll probably be okay. I didn't, luckily. And I think I'm past the danger of that. I have one spot on my upper right lung that's a little messed up. But and I can feel that when I take a deep breath. But other than that, I haven't really had too much. Mine was mostly just the fever and the pain. It was very painful.
Jeez.
Just every joint in my body hurt. Did you know that the joints on the end of your toes, those can hurt? Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awful.
I'm sorry to hear that, and yeah, I'm aware of the toe thing. I actually happened to have broken 2 toes this Monday night, right before an interview. So that was pleasant. But that's not me stealing the COVID stage to talk about my broken toe. Alcohol kills germs. Drink more whiskey, says me with knives.
I'm Irish. That is a standard cure for everything. But no, I mean, I'm trying to I'm not trying to harp on it or anything like in my videos, but I do mention it because I do have a tiny bit of a voice, and I think the best I can do is just tell people to take it seriously, because I was in excellent health, and man, uh, there were 3 or 4 really long nights I spent wondering if I was going to be all right. It was really bad. I got those Riger tremors. You just violently shivering. I had to bite down on a piece of cardboard to make sure I didn't bite my tongue. It
Wow.
was really really bad. So yeah, take it seriously. And if don't tell people, oh, it's just a cold. No, it's not. Don't ever tell me that. you might get a slap if you tell me that. Like, it was way worse than I don't remember losing 9 pounds in 4 days with a cold.
Wow.
It's something to really take serious, for sure.
And man, that's coming from someone who's in a pretty good state. So take it seriously.
Yeah, and the more we take it seriously, the sooner life goes back to normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just let's all just suck it up for a month, and everything will be fine.
Yeah. Find yourself a cool map.
That's what we did in New York. That's what we did in New York. Everybody sucked it up for a month, and now a lot of places are open. I mean, I still got it, but still after all that, but The transmission rates are down. There's a few you can eat at some restaurants. Things are relatively normal up here, and we were one of the worst places in the country for it, but we took it seriously. So I think that's
Specifically,
just
the
what
Rochester area, I know, was hard hit.
Yeah, that was pretty bad up here. It was we're about 500,000 people, and I think we had 500 deaths. So like it's not overall like that horrible, but still it's like not as bad as the city, not as bad as New York City, but it was still pretty bad. But
Yeah.
we took it seriously, and we just all shut up in our houses for a while, and everything got better.
Yeah.
And we don't allow people in the state, so that's been a big help to us too. Is like we have a list of what is it? I think it's up to 14 states now.
Yeah, I'm in one of them, Virginia. You won't let us in.
No,
Yep.
you have to go hide in a hotel for 2 weeks if you come up here. So,
Man, well, just got to take care of it. You talked about the deaths and said like, wow, that's not so much. But the fact is, like, we don't know what it looks like across time. This is all still fresh. Who knows what it looks like over a year?
And did this take a few years off my life? It might have.
Yeah.
I don't know yet. It's very, very possible that it has taken some time off my life, but I won't know, for months, and we'll see. Like once I'm actually up and feeling 100%, then I have to go have another chest X-ray and maybe a scan if that spot's still there and stuff like that. But yeah. The only silver lining is I did find out that other than that, I'm in excellent health. So,
well, that's good.
To the point it annoys my wife because she tells me to eat better, and I'm like, I have perfect blood pressure. Why do I have to eat better?
I don't.
It's just my cholesterol is perfect. I can eat bacon every day. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, it is. It's a food group. Speaking of other things that are maybe taking years off the end of your life, Knives Illustrated. What's going on with Knives Illustrated?
Actually, it's going pretty good. This issue that's not the one that hits newsstands like about now.
Mm-hmm.
That one, our bushcraft issue, I was very heavily involved in, but it was already kind of started. This next one is the first one that's 100% mine, and it's actually going all right. That's an American-made issue. I believe that's the October issue, and this is the first time I've gone through the process beginning to end as my show, and it's been all right. I'm pretty happy with it. You're writing something in it. You wrote something in the bushcraft issue too. So
yes, I did.
Yeah, it's and you wrote something in the issue before that. You've been a very reliable contributor. I very much appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
But yeah, it's now going from beginning to end. It's a little easier. I still only have half an idea what I'm doing, but have half an idea anyway, so I'm all right with that.
Well, you've got the experience in publishing, and you've got the passion for knives, so it kind of seems like a natural fit.
Yeah, and we're moving more towards. This is the first issue where I'm moving more towards more shorter reviews and less of the big long, feature stuff. Your article for this issue, for the American issue, is along the big long feature, and then everything else is shorter. So, and I think that just fits the attention span of the average, reader nowadays. I think they would rather read a really well-written, concise 4-page review than a longish 7-page review that's just trying to fill space.
Right.
So
Yeah.
That's kind of what I've gone to, and trying to do more modern stuff. Always respect the tradition of Knives Illustrated. They have a lot of traditionals, a lot of fixed blades and stuff like that. I'll always respect that tradition. We'll always have a lot of that, but I want to put in more modern stuff.
So you talk about this upcoming edition. I was going to say episode. This upcoming edition is going to be about USA made. So what that is the theme. What are you going to be looking at? Folders, fixed blades, all sorts of things.
All kinds of stuff. So you're doing the history of Emerson knives. So really excited about that. To learn that myself as well. I asked Bob, like, can you do a thing about Emerson's? And he was like, and how many do you have? And you said, what is it, like a dozen or something like that?
I have 10. A solid.
Yeah. I was like, all right, that's enough. Yeah, you can do that.
He can do it.
And then I'm doing reviews of the Hinderer Jurassic and the
nice
Demco 8020. Well, the MG20, or MG8020, whatever you're supposed to call it. I'm not really exactly sure. And then we have reviews of like the Ritter Hogue, and then there's an SE review, a Tops review, another fixed blade review. I believe it was a Bark River or something like that. And then our usual stuff. Nick Shabazz wrote a column for it.
Oh,
Very
nice.
excited to have him on. So yeah, it was. I like obviously like my copy editor isn't necessarily a knife person, and Nick's article is fairly it might be a bit controversial to some people, and it's an opinion piece.
Mhm.
And she said, "Is this going to make people mad?" I'm like, "It's Nick. He can get away with it. Don't worry about it." But yeah, it's like if anybody gets like he's kind of a big deal. Like it'll be fine. And yeah, so that was kind of funny. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to both of this bushcraft issue looks amazing, and then the next one is my baby. So I'm really looking forward to that.
I think it's great to have someone stir the pot a little bit, especially, hey,
Yeah.
Plainscrafter, good to see you. Thank you so much. Very, very much appreciated. Yeah, I think it's good to have someone stir the pot and start dialogue and have, I mean, with Nick, it seems like you're not going to have an argument as much as you're going to have a discussion about something.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a very reasonable, nice guy, and like he's become like one of my best friends since I got into YouTube, and trust his opinion a lot. Like I told him, "Hey, do you want to write a column?" He said, "Well, maybe, but I don't want to talk about." I'm like, "Whatever the hell you want to." Like I don't. Whatever you want to do is fine. If there's a physical copy, yes, you can subscribe, or it is on newsstands where there are newsstands still open. But, it's been a topic of conversation right now, being a print magazine and just having newsstands just not open.
And I guess you have to balance how many people actually subscribe and have the magazine delivered, right? That's something that doesn't happen.
Luckily we have very, very good numbers as far as that goes. So
okay.
We're okay. But obviously we would like to be driving more newsstand sales, and there are some issues we do that are aimed at newsstand, and hopefully by the time those are ready to come out, there'll be more newsstands open. And I think there will be, but we'll see.
When I lived in New York City, newsstands were a major part of my like eating. Just on the hoof, you stop by a newsstand, get a bag of Bazzini nuts, and be on your way. And then I would always peruse and see if I could find a knife magazine. And there usually wasn't, but they're still fun to look at guitar magazines and truck magazines and news magazines and stuff like that. I hope they never go away.
I was really surprised what the numbers, were, and when I came on board, I was pretty happy with that. And with the virus and everything, it's just gone up, as far as subscribers and stuff go.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it was people not wanting to go to the newsstand to get it, so they subscribed, and then also it's just you start thinking about preparedness and things like that during times. It's just human nature, it's especially man nature, to be like, hey, I got to be prepared if this happens again. And having a knife is a big part of that. So, having a good solid knife around you if the world cracks in half, you definitely want to have something like that. And it's done well for us. I kind of feel bad about it, but it's definitely been good for the knife industry, period. I've talked to several knife manufacturers, talking to Spartan today, and like their sales are way up, and they're a pretty high-end knife manufacturer, and still they've noticed sales go up, during all this, because it's just human nature to be, when you get a little shook, you want to be prepared. And I think that's something that's going to last a long time. I don't think that's going to be a blip for this year and then go away. I think that whole preparedness trend, it was getting kind of high, and then it kind of went down a little bit, and now I really think that we all got a little bit of a wake-up call.
Yeah. It sort of crested off the zombie craze of like the 2010s, and then there was the prepper show, and then it kind of became a joke, and people kind of went away from it. So how do you see like knife designs and the kind of things that people are going to spend money on, and therefore the kind of designs that manufacturers and designers are going to spend time and money developing? Do you think that's going to change if you see this current trend continuing? Yes.
Yeah, I think we've already seen it. I think a lot of like I mentioned, Spartan. I know like Spartan, Hinderer, like a lot of the Emerson, like a lot of the companies that make kind of beefier stuff, not necessarily tactical stuff, but beefier, higher end, hard use folders are doing really well. I think people are realizing, oh, maybe it's worth the money to spend on a really good, solid tool, that I know I can rely on no matter what. And I think we're going to see more and more designs like that. The daintier stuff is never going to go away. Dainty, for lack of a better word, but gentlemen's knives, things like that.
Yeah.
That's never going to go away. But I think we're going to see over the next year or two, the trend being more towards heavier stuff, which is what I've been into lately too, just by coincidence.
Yeah, I was just gonna say your taste has really I don't know, veered into my territory, like the kind of stuff that I really like. The bigger, like I know you just got that XM24 in the what is it called? The vintage edition. Oh
yeah.
my God, looks
I honestly didn't want the vintage. I just wanted a regular one, and I was going to use it for a comparison with the Spartan Harsey folder, and thought I'd probably sell it. And I just mentioned it in a video, and then somebody pointed out on Shabaz's Discord this one was available. Couldn't pass it up. Like the price was already good, and then before I could reply to it, somebody replied to the thread and said, "Hey, I told Slicey about this." He goes, "Oh, if Slicey wants it, I'll give it down $50 off." And it was such a good price. I just couldn't. There was no way I could say no to it, and it's gorgeous. It's just a beautiful thing. But what's great about it is it's beautiful, but you can use it because it's already beat up. It came that way. So it's like whatever. What's one more scratch on the blade? Who cares?
So it's A2 steel, right? And it's Parkerized.
01.
Okay. So that's an air cooled what do you call it? High carbon steel, right?
Sure.
And the air cooled part I just put in there to sound cool. No, I know
it's very old. I know they've been making it forever. But,
and they Parkerized it, which is what they do with rifles and
yeah.
Look at that.
And they say this is green, but I hate green, but I'm colorblind enough that I can't really tell. So it looks brown to me. But yeah, and then it's got it actually came with a carbon fiber scale, the previous owner, but I put the stock one back on it. If anybody wants an XM24 carbon scale, it's very, very nice, but I'm not going to use it. But very cool.
I like the brass hardware, or at least the brass.
It's bronze. Bronze. Yeah, it's really, really nice. God. It's just, and it's not that hard to carry. I was really surprised. I actually don't.
So,
Alex says he got the vintage XM18 Slippy today. I almost got one of those, but I got my eye on something else. And I have one vintage. I don't need another.
They're very evocative of the M1 Garands, the big battle rifles from World War II.
Yeah.
With that, I think that's walnut, right?
Yeah, it's walnut. Yep.
My wife is tired of me carrying a Bowie around the house in my shoulder rig. Well, you're allowed to. It's quarantine, man. Anyone who walks around with less than a Bowie in a shoulder rig is taking their life into their own hands.
I know we haven't gotten to my new acquisitions yet, but if you guys watch the channel, I joked that not joked, it was just the truth. When the quarantine first kicked off, I found myself carrying my 4MAX Scout like all the time. Because it was like, who cares? I'm in my house, I can, and I just found it amusing. It gave me a little bit of pleasure and like laughter to open a letter with a 4MAX. It just was kind of funny. I'm opening like packages of bacon with this big giant knife, and it annoyed my wife at an amusing level, not where she was really angry, but when I'm in the other room and she was here, thwack. So, one of the knives that I ordered that I did not remember that I ordered. And it's up on the channel right now. I just did a video with it, but I got a real 4MAX. So I got a USA made one, and it was sitting around on the shelves at Southern Edge Knife Works, and I got it, and just to kind of compare like which one is better. Which, spoiler alert, if you don't want to go watch the video, buy the Scout. It's $110. It's awesome. This is cool, but it's $350 or so if you can find one on the secondary. So yeah, just go get the Scout.
Right.
But it's cool to have it because I'm a Cold Steel, moron. So I'm not going to get rid of it anytime soon. But and honestly, I think maybe the Scout's made better than this.
Really? So I have
they said that they went to Taiwan eventually. This is the USA one.
Okay.
I guess they went to Taiwan, or not Taiwan, sorry, Italy before they went away. And they say the Italian ones are a little better. I believe that. This definitely has some QC issues that the Scout does not have.
I do have a Scout headed my way, and I'm really looking forward to it because I've almost felt guilty up until now that I haven't taken advantage of the SR1 Lite or the Scouts, just because those are knives I always looked at and admired, but I was like, I know I'm never going to carry it, even though I really want, all of them.
I bet you'll carry that Scout a lot more than you think you will.
I think I might. Because
I mean, like I said, during the beginning of the quarantine, I was carrying her in my house all the time, but we never got locked down so far here that I couldn't leave the house at all. So if I had to go get groceries or whatever and would mask up and all that stuff, I would leave the house and I'd forget that I had it in my pocket. It's inobtrusive enough that you do forget that it's in your pocket. It's heavy,
right?
But that's 10.2 ounces. It's really heavy. But other than that, it's not really that much of a chore to carry. You sit in your car and drive around. It's not like I carry it right front pocket. And it was fine.
So what were you carrying today?
Most half the day that Formax, but before that showed up, my new MG Demko MG8020.
So how are you liking that?
I love it, man. It's so good. I did a little unboxing and first impressions, and I feel almost kind of bad because it did have some elastic out of the box, but it's gone now. It's just completely gone. And the shark lock is just cool as hell. I'm gonna do it when I'm on the camera. Yeah.
Let's see.
It's just awesome. It's just a little tabby up here. I'm not exactly sure how it works. It looks like it's just a triad lock with a little thing you can grab, and it's on bearings. But yeah, at 825 for the regular 8020, I was gonna be a pass. But these MG ones are 425.
Wow.
And the only difference is it's a machine ground blade. This one is 3V. You have a choice between 3V or 20 CV, and with or without the hole. And I wanted the hole, and I wanted 3V just because I have enough 20 CV floating around my house. I don't need any more, so I just wanted something different.
So what are you expecting out of 3V?
I've had it before, like on a couple other test knives. It's just the edge retention is just amazing on it. It's cool. Just really, really good. It now is not at all corrosion resistant. Like you have to be careful for that. But I EDCI'd it, and it'll be fine. So in Rochester, New York, we get it rains a lot here, but it's not humid.
Oh,
so I don't usually have corrosion issues like at all with anything. And you can also deploy it with the shark lock. It's a big beefy Demko that is actually like fun to fidget with. Like I love Demko's designs, but fidget is usually like his seventh priority.
Yeah.
And
well, it looks more fidgety than it looks more fidgety than an axis lock, and a little bit more than slightly less hazardous than a scorpion lock. Sometimes you get your finger pinched.
Yeah.
Alex was saying he's happy you. Hey, Mike. Alex was saying he's happy that you found one, and I'm curious if Alex got one as well.
Alex actually got me mine in a way. So I can thank Alex publicly.
Trying to figure a shoulder rig for my Bowie knife.
Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Emler.
He said something about a shoulder rig for a Bowie knife, and I was like, I got one of those. Let me see. Can I figure a shoulder rig for this?
What kind of knife is that, Mike?
That's one of the old school Puma stag buoys back in the day when they made really good. This one was actually made in Germany. This is one of the old school ones.
That's a beaut, man.
It's been in the drawer next to my bed forever. And he said something about a Bowie knife, and I was like, hang on a second.
I got one of those. So
those.
We should do a show when I just put all the knives that are in the drawer next to our bed. That's where the crazy stuff goes.
I did that on a live feed. I did that on a live feed one night, and people were like, "You've got more knives in your dresser, in the bedstand, than most people, like most stores have in their knife counter." And I was like, it was like a 45 minutes of me just pulling stuff out of a drawer.
I don't have many, but I know I have some fixed blade from a company. I can't remember the name of it, and it's like meant to be like reverse, like tactical, reverse
all grip, like
yeah. And then I've got a SOG Seal Pup, and my Cold Steel Chris Voyager.
Ah, nice.
They live in my.
I took them out. I had a set of nunchucks in my drawer with all those knives. I'm like, where did those go?
I figure, because I sleep au naturel, and I figure, if somebody broke into the house and I come running out with a Chris Voyager naked, they're gonna leave.
Exactly.
They're gonna be like, "What is with this guy?" Because either way, it's like ending bad for both of us.
What's scarier than a man coming across his bedroom at you with a sword? A naked man coming across his bedroom with a sword.
I kept trying to tell my wife I want a sword. I actually know how to use a sword. I actually learned. And I'm actually not bad with a sword, and she just says no, is not going to allow it. But I think that's a very intimidating sound. You kick down the door of somebody's house and you hear shing. You're gonna think twice about what you're doing.
It's just gonna be like, I just want an easier night. Obviously he's a criminal because he wants to take the easy way out somehow.
Yeah,
and then that's gonna happen. No, he's not gonna.
Yeah, so sword's gonna end bad for everybody.
Oh, yes.
I think more intimidating would be like if you don't show any fear and you just walk in and you just look at him and go, "Welcome to the party." And he's like, "Nah, wrong house, man, wrong house." Yeah.
I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. Oh, look at that. Look at that. So, Mike, what is that? That's your sea snake.
That's the sea snake. I got the protos in after we did the last. As a matter of fact, I got them in right after we did the last the video I did with you guys. The following week I got my prototypes.
Nice.
And so I've been carrying it for like a week now. And so this one I haven't decided which one of these I'm sending to you. This one I've sharpened.
Okay.
And then I was thinking that I'd send you the one that is still pristine and still in the box. So you can see how it comes.
Right.
But yeah, you're gonna get this when I send back your Spyderco Spidey Chef. You're gonna get this and this in the box.
Oh man, I cannot wait to check those out. Wait to check those out. The sea snake to me is that's the small Warncliffe. I love that shape. That's that is beautiful.
And I was trying to find it. I think it's right here. I have its fraternal twin. The Scorpion. Well, it used to be called the Scorpion. This is the prototype. I made this this is a handmade for my daughter. This is actually going to be called the Habu now. There's too many knives called the Scorpion.
Oh, what's a Habu?
Habu is a Japanese poisonous snake. All my stuff's named after not poisonous, venomous.
Venomous.
All my stuff's named after venomous creatures. So,
as they should be. Well, I really, you were saying, hey, Lindy Lou,
good to have you. After my ex-wife, huh?
Lindy Lou, I sent you a DM. I have a question about your anodizing, Lindy Lou. I sent you a DM.
I like that, Slicey. That was good. So you said you got that thing way super, super thin, lavender pants. I currently don't have a knife stand. My wife hasn't found a perfect matching one for our new house. It's a whole thing. Been sleeping on the couches. But, well, you know what? I bet there's a little spot under the couch that can accommodate a knife.
Down in the kitchens.
Yeah, exactly. So you got that knife super thin, you were saying.
Yeah, it's as thin as
Rusty, can have you.
It's as thin as the little prototype I made for my daughter, which is in way thinner stuff. I kind of based it on how much I liked how thin this prototype was that I did in 440. As you can see, she liked Star Wars at the time, so I made sure there's a Star Wars logo in it.
Cool.
I used really thin stock on this because it just happened to be laying around. I just had the urge to try and make a new knife. And so this stock is just about the same, and it comes full flat down, and it is, I mean, it's really thin. Like it's so thin, it's almost 0 ground.
Beautiful.
I mean, you can see there's an edge on it, but it is insanely thin.
Well, speaking of
nice.
insanely thin, Lavender Pants says he likes that knife a lot. Mike, I had a Habu snake cane my dad brought back from Okinawa.
Dude, they make canes out of them.
Speaking of insanely thin Wharncliffe knives, I wanted to ask you, Slicey, you now have the Yojimbo and the Canis Spyderco knives. Which one do you like better? And which one?
I had the Yojimbo.
Oh, what happened?
So yeah,
and
I sold it. It was just it's just not something I'm gonna carry regularly. So but I am gonna get a Yojimbo. Like I got enough to like the concept of it, but it's just that design and that size is just a bit too big for me. And the really super aggressive G10 is just something that I understand why people would want it, but it's just something I'm not gonna carry very much. So feed the beast and all that stuff. Had to move it along.
I hear you. I just.
But the Canis, I love.
The Canis has the sloped Wharncliffe, kind of like the one Mike was just holding up. Mike is wicked thin. It feels good in hand. Yep.
Well, I'm
trying to get more into fixed blades.
I just wanted to drop in and say hi to you guys. I have stuff I'm still doing.
Okay, wait, Mike, before you leave, I just want to tell the world what you're doing to my Spidey chef to make it super, super awesome.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. You want me to tell him or you want to tell him?
I want you to tell him.
Okay, so I had Bobby draw a line on the front where it will have a forward aggressive tip, so it's not just a kitchen knife-esque. Even though it's not very good as a kitchen knife, it's really not that good at much anything. I just don't like that design. But you do, so that's fine. But I'm going to take the tip off. I'm going to grind it down, and then I'm going to blast it heavily, and then I'm going to tumble it for like 24 to 48 hours in some really, really fine ceramic abrasive, and it's going to give it a unique. It gives it a unique finish. Matter of fact, I have a knife in that finish here, and it gives it a gunmetal gray. Polish but matte. It's just a weird, like you look at it and your brain goes, I'm not 100% sure what's going on here. Like I can't put two and two together. So, but it's going to look real similar to this, where it's like, it's a polish, but it's not. You can see it's a dark gray, but you can see it reflects really well. And it's just a really attractive finish. Like you can see there's a texture to it, but you can't feel it. I'm going to open up a little bit on the choil on the back. When I tumble, it's going to soften those grind lines and edges. And then I'm going to open up a little spot, just a little bit, to take out a little bit of material so that there's a softer progression from the plunge into the sharpened area. So if it needs it, I'm going to see first if it needs it. Okay. If it's not thick back there at that point where it would ramp up and give you that weird spot where, some knives, they come up and then you've got that ramped area where it comes down into the edge. Yeah. Just some little stuff. Then I'm going to put it back together, and then I'm going to send it to Bobby.
Sharpen it
after I sharpen it.
I am looking forward to that. I like the Spidey Chef, kind of in concept and almost in execution, but I always hey, what's up, Jared and Kara? So I'm really excited to get this back. It's going to look cool, especially with that sweet finish on it.
It's not. Let me go back. It's not that. I don't like the way I don't dislike the way it looks. I just, in hand, it's just not a knife for me, which you guys know I'm really good friends and with Elliot over at Fair and Forge. And I have never shied away from telling him when he makes a knife that I don't like this.
No. Yeah.
He's got some knives like the mini Archbishop, which is not a bad knife. It looks exactly like the Archbishop. It's built exactly like the Archbishop, but size wise, when I get it in hand, it just doesn't feel good. And so, like, I love the knife. I just could never own one.
Right. Gotcha.
Well, everyone's allowed to be wrong, Mike. So.
Yeah, I mean,
your thing you're wrong about is the Spidey Chef. So in the grand scheme of things, it's not a major thing to be wrong.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion, even if you don't, even if you do not subscribe to mine, which is the correct one.
It's like the most universally loved, like, EDC knife, like, around.
Yeah. Guess what? I don't like any Spyderco unless it's an Endura. I really don't. It has nothing. I just don't like. I don't like the way they feel in my hand, and it's just it's a thing that I don't know what Spyderco does when they make knives. The Endura and Police series always felt good. I don't like the Delicas. But the Endura's always fun.
I hate the Delica.
Yeah,
and
it just is a thing of I just don't like the way they feel. I don't like the way they cut for me, and it's no different. I like a lot of cold steel knives. I have one here that's a gift. I won't ever use it because I just don't like the way it feels in my hand. It is the I keep it because it was a gift from a friend, but the Voyager.
Oh yeah,
I do not like the way the Voyager series feels in hand. It has a weird angle to it, and there's some Kaisers that are like that. It's probably a great knife for a lot of people. It's just not a knife for me.
Yeah.
So
Alex says Mike must have small hands. every knife he has. His bad ergos are great to me. That's interesting. So every knife you say has bad.
Yeah.
I would go as far as say it's the opposite. I have rather large, massive.
You have ogre hands.
Yeah. I mean, like literally, we were joking about it a few weeks ago. My wedding ring is off of the size chart. Like if you try to put it on a regular ring sizer, you can just drop it all the way down it. I'm off the scale for.
Who is this giant? Lavender Pat says, "What do you consider to have excellent ergos, Mike?"
There's a lot of the Microtech knives have really good ergos. Most of the Ferrum Forge knives, Jason. I should know this because I went to school with a guy that has the same name, South African maker, Jason
Guthrie.
Jason Guthrie. Or Guthrie, however you, his knives always feel great in hand. The Dyer wares usually feel pretty good in my hand.
Yeah. Dyer wares.
Like I said, most of the Ferrum Forge knives, most of the Wii knives, it's just it has to meet, like it has to be the right shape. Like this, it's an angle thing for that feel. It's just a weird angle, like almost a pistol grip. So there's a lot. Most knives actually have pretty good ergos. The problem I have with a lot of knives is where the pocket clip winds up sitting in my hand. It makes a hot spot. But yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of, as a tool that I'm going to use, how's it feel in hand? So I'd have to say that this is probably, of all the knives I own, my actual full-size Archbishop is probably the best in ergos for a folding knife that I've ever come across. It just sits just perfect in my hand, especially if I get up in that choil.
Yeah, those are great.
It's a nice-looking knife.
So,
Black Cow has excellent ergos. That's a cool-looking knife, too. Therapeutic Edge also mentioned that a lot of knives that people love, he does not, and I think he has pretty big hands.
He does. We met in Portland, and when we shook hands, I was like, "Oh, mutant!"
Another one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could see how that could be frustrating to kind of be kind of not just pushed out of a market because you like the way the things look, but they're just too dainty.
There's a lot of times I take pocket clips off. Because most times it's not actually the knife ergos itself. It's a lot of times where the pocket clip winds up sitting. So,
for sure. And then you might take something like an Emerson, and which I know you love, Mike. Both of you, I know, love these knives. You remove the original clip to put an MXG gear clip, and it does change the ergonomics.
I would hate that worse. I hate deep carry pocket clips when they stand up. It's proud.
Yeah.
I like deep. I used to put deep carry in everything, and now it's like there's some that it just don't work.
Yeah.
Like I've got that the new mini Freak. The Benchmade, yes,
right.
Carbon. I love that knife, by the way.
No.
A fantastic knife. But I have a spare bug out clip laying around, so I thought immediately slapping that bug out clip on it. Nope, that did not work a bit. Like just the way it landed on my palm, it hit like right there.
Yeah, that's exactly what. Like right there.
I couldn't stand it, and I was so disappointed.
Yeah,
I was saving that clip for that knife.
Now,
I love that clip so much.
I can't show you this knife, but this knife has a pocket clip I really don't like. But this is a prototype, and I can't show it to you. It's not mine. It's one of Elliot's prototypes. I just happen to be carrying it just because I like it.
Ooh, secrets.
The pocket clip on this I truly hate, but I like the knife so much that I can overlook it. I'm like, it's just such a great knife. The blade design, the blade shape, the geometry of the blade, all the things about it. I can overlook this pocket clip because it's also one of those ones that's small enough and thin enough that I could stick it down inside like my watch pocket on my jeans and not have a pocket clip. Yeah, I've done it a couple times. I've taken a pocket clip off this and I'm like, oh yeah, Yeah, that's just about perfect.
So Ryan
And
was
that's like
asking if you have any experience with David Mosher's
Yeah,
work.
that's why I was nodding when I saw the comment. I was like,
okay, yeah.
Moser knives, Jim Skelton's knives, Jim Skelton's fixed blade knives, super comfortable. And if you've ever shaken hands with Jim Skelton, he's a ham-handed dude too, like big, thick hands. Ramon Chavez has got big, thick, beefy hands like me.
Great ergos on Chavez,
right? And his knives are great in hand, except for if you can get past the pocket clip, which I because it's so attractive, I can. So there are, usually the knives that are made by like the giant guys, like I'm 6'3", Elliot's probably 6'6". Ramon's not that tall, but he's a monster.
Right.
Yeah, never stand next to Elliot if you want to feel good about yourself as a man.
Right?
Like I got my picture taken next to him, and I was like, why did I, between the two of them? And I was like, why would I do that? Because they're both like big, giant, handsome men. And you cannot help but just look awful between the two of them. It's like getting your picture taken between like Bradley Cooper and Brad Pitt. Like you are gonna be the worst looking person in that photo. Like don't do it.
We used to go to they had a tasting room at the brewery right across from Fair and Forge for a long time, and we would go there every Friday night and just hang out and drink. And I didn't care how much you drank because most of the time I would just work on knives all night and then leave at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And we would be in there, and there would be like people come in, and it would be Elliot, me, and Chris, and I'm the same height as Chris. So it's just like people would come up and they're like, "What the?
Yeah,
what is going on?"
They're both just unfairly good-looking guys, and I don't like them for that.
I don't know.
And they're really nice. They're really nice too. It's just like I hate them.
All right, so let me. While we still have you, Mike, AR RPM 9 steel. Okay,
yeah.
That's the steel that that the Sea Snake from Artisan Cutlery is coming out in. Yeah. I also wanted to mention there's a new knife coming out. Dirk Pinkerton designed flipper. That's a cool looking kind of upswept Persian-y almost looking thing.
It's a cool looking knife.
It is cool.
It kind of reminds me of the blade sweep of the. You remember the knife, the Custom Knife Factory Morph?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
It kind of reminds me of that. Yeah, it's exactly. I got to thinking about it. I was like, it doesn't sweep up as quickly, but it kind of has that same sweep to the blade.
Yeah, it's got that little dip for your thumb before that upsweep. I think that's kind of what echoes the morph shape.
I think that was because I saw that, and I have my buddy Matt's morph here for sharpening and for a YouTube video, and I was like. And so I was talking with Russell about that knife, and I looked it up while I was talking to Russell, the U.S. rep. We were talking about my knife and given the go-ahead that, yeah, the prototypes were good. And I looked it up while we were talking. I was like, that reminds me of the Morph. Just not so much that it's just that sweep to it.
Yeah.
I'm not usually a fan of Persians, but that one does kind of blow my skirt up.
I was going to say, I don't either, but I like that knife.
Tier 1 likes it too. I think it's because it maintains the belly toward a lot towards the tip. I don't like it when it resembles the chicane.
It looks shorter. It looks shorter and fatter instead of that. I don't like the long. Yeah, like the 0462, like from ZT. I never liked the look of that. Long,
it's real swoopy. Symmetrical too. It looks like it's very symmetrical because you've got the palm swell, then you have the exact opposite. It gives it that S shape. And you've probably heard me say it in my videos. Symmetry is what draws me to a knife most time. I get upset when there's hardware on one side of a knife but not on the other. I'm like, come on, because I can anodize that, and then you have a pop on both sides. I would prefer that a knife not just have one screw that goes all through, and then you just face it. You see the head.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I would much rather it just be 2 screws, because not so much the ease of this. It's a symmetry thing. I find it attractive, especially like on a knife where I can anodize the hardware and things like that and make it look the same on both sides. So
remind us of the qualities of AR RPM 9 steel.
Okay, so not to get into it too much because it is proprietary. I do know what the thing is. I've been testing they sent me a RIA, one of their folding knives in that. I don't have it here, but it's a great little knife. Yeah. So I've done some testing. It's pretty easy to sharpen. It sharpens about as easily as OS 8 used to. Mm-hmm. Like Cold Steel's OS 8 was a little bit harder to sharpen. It's about like that. And then it's got a super fine edge that it takes because it's a powdered steel and it's super fine grain structure. And so you would think that being soft and easy to, not soft, but being relatively easy to sharpen, that it wouldn't hold up. I cut a bunch of cardboard, and I only took it like 600 grit, and then I stropped it, and I was testing different types of stropping things. It strops really well on newspaper, like incredibly well on like just take a newspaper, fold it in half, and wrap it around a stone or your strop and go to town on it, and it comes up screaming sharp. And then I cut a bunch of cardboard, probably like I had a 5-gallon bucket, and I probably filled it almost all the way up. And I didn't strop it. I just kept cutting. I would just wipe it down with WD-40 to take adhesive off the blade if it felt like it was sticky and not want to cut through. And I cut through all of that, and I was like, okay, I'm not just going to immediately put it on a stone. And I just stropped it up, and it went right back up to just on the verge of hair popping. Like it was cutting hairs. You could feel that there was some edge deformation. But after a couple more passes, like I stropped it like 3 times, and I was like, wow, that's like grabbing beard hairs and it's cutting arm hair. And then I stropped it a couple more times, and I could still feel that there were a little issues, but like right through newspaper, it strops up real easily. So I mean, I'm kind of trying to think of a way to relate it to anything. It doesn't. So it sharpens like OS 8 or S90 or S30V. I mean S35V. It polishes really well, like a 600 grit edge, and then stropped looks like a 2000 to 3000 grit edge. It stays toothy, it cuts, it holds an edge really well, and it gets that super, super fine, crispy, nasty, terrifying edge that you get on RWL 34. So it's got it's weird. And I mean, I know what the elements that are in it, and I can compare it to a steel that I used to like, which is a steel Spyderco used to use. But in saying that it is, just because the composition's close, is not going to equate to what you get in the steel. So it's at like 58 to 60 Rockwell, which is a fairly decent Rockwell. Not hard to sharpen. Sharpens really well on, so far I've sharpened it on all the different stones I have. It really does well on aluminum oxide, and then finished on a fine ceramic is screaming sharp. And then, like I said, you don't have to bake the bank on your strop material, because I feel like it actually strops better on newspaper than it did on my diamond strops. It just got a toothier, really, really crispy, like terrifying, like that's going to cut me kind of edge. And I really like it. And that Rhea, it's so good because of the blade shape. It's meant for cutting stuff like that. It looks like a little trapper.
So RPM 9. Okay. RPM 9 steel. You're happy with it. And your new Sea Snake from Artisan Cutlery is coming out through Artisan Cutlery in that steel. And I am lucky enough I'm going to get a little advanced copy. I'm going to get to check out. And then when it comes out.
Keep in mind though, edge. I'm going to check the edge before I send it to you. It's a prototype knife. So it's like, hey, we got to get this out just to see. So there, it's probably, because it's hand finished and stuff, there may be some inconsistencies, but I haven't had a problem with the prototype at all. It's great. Like, and people are like, oh, you're putting out for people to buy a knife in an untested, unknown steel. And I was like, guys, if I had an issue with the steel, the knife wouldn't be coming out. You guys know everybody knows how picky I am. But then they're questioning like, oh, is it a viable steel? It's like, guys, I wouldn't have even thought about saying yes if I didn't think it was. I tested it.
Of course not. And what are the naysayers doing with those steels that they have, those expensive steels? But I get it. I have that same problem. Well, Mike Emler, it's been a pleasure having you. We're going to talk about a couple of prototypes coming out, and I cannot wait to get your prototype in hand.
I like I said, I will get your knife started. I may go up there tomorrow night.
All right.
Late, and get it started so I can get it in the tumble, if I can get all the grinding and everything done, and have it back for sharpening and everything. Probably by Monday it'll be done with the mods.
Cool. So maybe in a week, but definitely in 2 weeks on this night, I will be showing it off to the world and joyfully singing its praises. As long
as nothing goes awry, and if you're a knife maker, you know that I just jinxed myself, and everything will go wrong.
Come on, give me a break. Mike Emler, it's been a pleasure, sir. Thank you for coming on. All right. Have a good night.
Later.
See you.
See ya. Bryan, we were talking prototypes. What do you have coming up that you've had come through your hands that is promising and new prototype?
I'm not legally allowed to talk about two of them, but no, I did a video a while ago. I got a bunch of concept because concepts, new, come out a bunch. I still have a bunch of those, and all of those I was pretty happy with, pretty excited about most of them. There was one I was kind of like, didn't really get, but the other two are pretty good. Michael Williamson designs. Are they within reach right now? Hold on.
Mikkel Williamson from Denmark.
Yeah.
Or
I'm stretching too far. Pay for that in the morning.
The urban tactical guy.
I guess it's called the Gas Giant.
Oh, check that out.
But pretty big.
Gas Giant, huh?
And it's this titanium one, which is going to be S35 yen and $200. And this is pretty much done. This is what they look like. I was told when I got this that a couple of the other ones they wanted some input on, but this one they said you can give us your input, but it's probably going to be too late. I've had some of his Wii designs, the sticks and the something or other.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember that one. Somebody will remember. And I did not like them. They were just too gymtastic, and all the jimping was in the wrong place. I'm trademarking gymtastic, by the way. This one is also very gymtastic, but it doesn't bother me. It actually does hit pretty well, and it's very comfortable. It's a big old bruiser. That's my jam lately. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one. Actually, have been carrying this one a little bit, and then there's a D2 version as well, which the color choices on this one are hideous. If you are easily upset or you have a heart condition, please avert your eyes. But this is just a prototype. But yeah, it's coming in a D2 liner lock.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cheesy, cheeserific with the gold and the blue. Hey, Jim, can you put up Lavender Pants? Can you put up Lavender Pants' comment? Giant gas station knife. That's funny.
I really do like it. I don't know if Gas Giant's going to be the name, when it comes out, but because I have another one here that was called something, and now they had to change it. Because like Mike alluded to, there's a lot of knives that are all the same name, and concept is trying not to step on anybody's toes. So anytime they come out with a knife and somebody says, "Hey, there's another knife that name," they change it. At some point, you just got to be like, "Yeah, it's a common word. They're going to have the same."
Get over it.
Just deal with it.
Well, another thing that Mike brought up with
I'd forgotten how much I like this in my actually. Now that I've got it out again.
Something Mike mentioned about the Voyager that he didn't like is that pistol grip thing, and I feel like Mikkel Williamson has a lot of designs that are kind of based on that platform, on that sort of pistol grip kind of curve there.
Yeah, and I don't mind that at all.
No,
the kind of stuff that I do.
I like it quite a bit, actually. It's always been evocative of Filipino knives to me, and I like that. So what else do you have new? Okay, so you got the ProTech TR3 that I was jealous of.
Yeah, the operator. Yeah, I love that. That's around here somewhere in the case. But yeah, I love that thing. It's just like I said, it makes you it's scientifically proven. I measured it. It makes you 15% more badass.
Oh yeah.
So when I carry it, I am 20% badass. So that thing's awesome. And then so I have this thing with Southern Edge Knife Works, that's on my hat here, that sponsors some stuff on my channel. I get an allowance with them, and basically,
nice.
And I hadn't spent it in like a couple months, and they kind of nagged me about it. And apparently, unbeknownst to myself, at the beginning of when I was sick, I ordered some knives, and I remembered one. I remembered one of them I ordered, and then 3 of them were for review, and they showed up today. And I wound up with this big giant box of knives. Like, I got this big heavy box. I'm like, what? I don't recall. One was the Formax. I remember discussing that they had one, and I kind of wanted one, but I didn't remember getting it. And then 3 were review knives, which will be coming up on the channel. I got the Cold Steel 1911, little budget knife. This thing's pretty cool, I do have to say. 4034 steel, nothing to write home about, but it's cold steel. It's going to be good. I don't know what they do with their heat treats. They're so good at everything.
That's what they made the
I'm sure
Kiridashi out of. That's a great little knife. The Kiridashi.
Yeah.
The steel is awesome.
And this is $34.
Nice.
So like retail. And then I got a one of these new MKM things. I can't remember the name of it. See if I can read it. That doesn't say it on there. I thought it did. But
MKM, that's the Maniago.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And I thought I said I didn't want the Hawkbill, but I did open some packages today, and the Hawkbill's actually pretty handy on a knife.
So that's a gnarly looking blade.
But yeah, and it's great little action on it and stuff. It's pretty cool. And then I got the Kaiser Yukon, the budget knife, and their Vanguard thing.
Is that new? I don't recognize that one.
Yeah, these are like $50, I think. Yeah, they're pretty brand new. Yeah, it's running on washers. It's pretty neat.
Nice.
And then I do recall that to shut Metal Complex up, because he's always talking about how he has all these fancy knives, but all he carries is his Para 3 Maxima. And I don't like the Para 3 that much. Like I like the lightweight one, okay, but I've never really done that in love with the regular Para 3. But to shut him up, I did get, just to give the Para 3 one last shot, I got a Maxima Para 3.
Oh, you went all out.
Yeah, so I can be like MC. This is the one that I remembered was coming. I didn't remember any of the other ones. And then I had a Benchmade Saibu, and I loved it, but I sold it, and I missed it. And I remember missing it, and apparently I ordered another one. So I've got a Saibu back again.
That one. That is a cool looking knife, man.
It's awesome, and I really missed having one around. And I guess in my fever dream. In my fever dream, I bought a lot of knives.
What a fantastic excuse, man! I love it.
It was a great little surprise today. Just be like, I got this big old box. I'm like, what is in here? I don't even remember any of this.
So I just wanted to mention that Nick Stasa 23 said he has a.
Caleb said I didn't see that new HA Falcon. I have one arriving tomorrow.
Those are pretty
for
cool.
review. So it's the new slip joint. Yeah, from
the slip joint.
Yeah, HA. I'm pretty excited about it. Yeah, that arrives tomorrow.
Excuse me. Woo! Stasso was saying he has a whole notebook full of knife names. The pair that is comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I may get some. I know that Sharp Dress Knives make some scales for this. Maybe I'll get the scales, but I really like the gray. Like that's one of the things I like about the Maxima is I do really love this gray. So I don't know. I'm probably just gonna leave it. I have a Casey Lynch proper clip coming for it. The
DLT Trading. DLT Trading has that Para 2 paramilitary 2. That's, I don't remember the steel. It's some fancy steel, but it's black blade and deep dark purple G10. It looks awesome. I gotta say.
I love purple. I'd have jumped on that in a second, but then they ruined it and made it a coated blade.
Agreed. Para 3 lightweight is pretty sweet. I
have the Spy 27 lightweight.
What do you think of that steel? That's a new.
It seems pretty good so far. The two knives that I'm trying to use the most around the house, like cutting cardboard and all that stuff. I even had my son. He had to take the recycling. I had him use one of them. They're both happy to be Spider Codes. I've got a S45 Para 2. And the Spy 27 Para 3 lightweight, and I would say that Spy 27 right now, in every way, just reminds me S35BN. Like that's just kind of what it seems like, and that's not a knock at all. It's one of my favorite steels.
Yeah.
So if they can get that performance in at S30V prices, then not bad.
So Matthew Lee would like to know, Jim, working his magic behind the scenes, how many ice picks do you have in your collection? I love that. I love that Jim has an ice pick collection. Yeah, it's so gangster. And you look at him, you're like, Jim seems 200 plus. This is a man.
Are they like commemorative or something? Do they have like the name of a hotel, or do they just list your victims?
Yeah, he's got one for each victim. Exactly. He has their name etched in it. I think they used to be given away as promotional things back in the day. Like they might give away a pocket knife or a yardstick or something like that. They give an ice pick, DeMarco's liquors, advertising items, etc. So, Bryan, what are your favorite new knives in your collection? Well, like what have you gotten recently? Hey, Kiefer, good to have you. What have you gotten recently in along the lines of the XM24 that is just it's just labeled with a blood type? Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I've only had it for a day, but right now, awesome gift from a viewer just to get well present. I got the smallest Benza 31 with that scale on it.
What?
Yeah, guy just gave it to me. I couldn't believe it. I did a video about it. Thanks for watching my channel, by the way, Bob.
Yeah, well, I'm doing this for everyone else's benefit.
Yeah, no, but I couldn't believe it. The guy emailed me and said, "Hey, I want to send you something. We'll get well present." A few people have. It's been great. Guy sent me some Shadowborn Hanks. That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And some people have sent me snacks and stuff. That was kind of neat. And I just thought that's what it was. And actually was hesitant to give him my address at first, but then I realized he'd bought a couple knives from me. So in the past, so I gave him my address. And when I started opening the box, I was like, it's a pretty big box. And I started opening the box and I saw the Chris Reeve box inside it. And I just stopped and turned the camera on.
Jeez.
Because I kind of thought it wasn't really gonna be a Sebenza in there or a Chris Reeve knife. I kind of thought it was gonna be a joke and there would be like a gas station knife in there or something like that, which still would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
It still would have been a good video, but yeah, it's here. It's it. So
that is amazing. That is so amazing. That's not a gift. That is a grail. Exactly. God.
Yeah. And
I'm consistently amazed.
I may carry it and use it, but if I do, it's not going to have this scale on it, that's going to come off and get stored. But now I have somebody's sending me another used Chris Reeve, and if I like that, then I'll use that. I mean, I have a large Sebenza, but somebody's sending me a small Nkosi. So if I like that, then I'll carry the small Nkosi and put that one away in a nice, safe place because it's just too pretty to mess up, and they're all individual, so it's not like you can ever replace it if you mess it up.
October Fire says, new to the knife community here, is there a reason many knife enthusiasts don't cover karambit knives? Is it because the implications of the knife design? I talk about them a bit. I have some videos, and I like very nasty knives and knives that are designed for the same purposes that karambits are designed. So I don't know. I think probably a lot of people consider it a limited use knife. And that is for most people who might be carrying a knife and not thinking of it as a self-defense item, but more as a daily carry tool, and then maybe an object of interest or fun or that kind of thing. But I would imagine it's that maybe some people a perceived lack of versatility.
I don't, because I don't have the first freaking clue about anything with them. So I just it's kind of one of those categories that even like I don't review fixed blades because other people do it better. They know more than I do. So and the karambits are that times 1,000. I don't know anything about that. So let other people deal with that.
I would say that it's definitely very helpful to have training with a karambit. I would also say that you can certainly use a karambit like an EDC knife without that kind of training, and pull it out and it'd be handy for opening packages. You might have trouble using it to cut a sandwich or an apple or that kind of thing, depending on I have a super karambit from Emerson, and it's very, very, very sharp for self-defense. But if you were going to cut an apple with it, you'd have a lot of problem, not only because of the
you'd
angle.
have to throw the apple in the air.
Yeah, exactly. And exactly. It is a wedge and cross. Yeah, and that would really impress your girl. I don't hate. I buy karambits.
I don't think it would. I don't think that would impress a girl.
No, probably not. No, I don't think so. But I think that's what they
always claim on Top Gear that every woman is secretly aroused by a handbrake turn.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
That's so
I've done handbrake turns on my wife in the car, and she was not.
And she was probably the opposite fruit ninja.
Oh, she was quite snowy parking lot, handbrake turn, slid right into the parking spot perfectly. It was awesome. like any dude would have like applauded. She was mad at me for 2 hours.
Should have taken it, dude. I'm sure you're glad you didn't. I suppose the design is anchored in landscaping, just as the original utility knife was based off of cutting vines, etc. Well, that's for sure. You can the Black Talon by Cold Steel, which is a sinuous S-shaped blade that is somewhat reminiscent, has some karambitoid qualities. Makes a great vine cutter because you can reach and pull towards you. I would also imagine it'd be good for people who have to cut lines on ships and stuff like that. But then again, I'm not a sailor. Okay, I got to catch the rest of this later.
Bye,
I need to sleep. Take care. We all need to sleep.
Deliver my packages.
Tim Simcoe, my wife hates handbrake turns. Yeah, well, I think that's kind of their part of their responsibility. Someone's got to rein that sort of behavior in. If you like karambits, look for hawkbill blade folders. They're a little more useful. Like any number of Spydercos now have that hawkbill. Or even just a straight up Warncliffe is nice, especially with the serrations. If you're looking for that kind of thing. Jim is prodding me aptly to remind you all of the Knife Town Hall that's coming up August 8th at noon. It's going to be a show and sell kind of thing. We're going to have knife makers on, and in about 20-minute segments, you're going to get to ask questions. They will also have knives that they may have been, saving up to bring to Blade Show or what have you, and you can buy knives right off there. They'll have some things for you to look at. So that will be the Knife Town Hall. It will be fun. We already have a couple of friends of the show who have already agreed to come on, and many more invited, and hopefully many of them say yes. So it will be a great time. These Knife Town Halls have been really fun way to get to meet you all out there. Of course, you all have smartphones and tablets, which means you could come on the show, this show included, just like Mike Emler dropped in on us. He has no special magic technology. He just comes on with his phone. So that is the name of the game during the Knife Town Hall, as it is every Thursday night here at Thursday Night Knives. Just come in and join us, kind of like a call-in show on Old School.
I'm on my phone right now, actually.
Oh. Are you? And it's coming through beautifully.
My desktop built-in camera shows too much of my office. I don't want to see all the mess behind me, so the phone zooms in a little better.
So you only have to clean up a space that's about 3 feet, 3.5 feet wide behind you, and then everything else is chaos.
I'm ill. I have that excuse that I have to do that. So, yeah.
Well, speaking of ill, let us get on to this knife fight. So we're not.
Yes.
We're
so
not.
I can get to bed.
Yeah. So you can get to bed. And before you do, I know last time I didn't have it around. This is mine.
Oh, yeah.
I love this knife so much. The Harsey folder. I mean, I like it way more than I even thought I would, and I was obsessing. So I'm very happy.
I had a long chat with Curtis today, actually.
Oh, nice.
I called to buy another knife, but then he told me something else was coming, so I'm holding off.
Yes. Oh. Yes. I need to get one of those daggers. I don't care if it's a Harsey or a George. I need to have one. I'll take the Harsey first. The George is they
are very illegal in New York, so I'm not gonna have a
they're pretty much very illegal anywhere. I bet Slicey isn't even wearing pants.
Maybe I'm wearing shorts. I'm wearing shorts, like normal human shorts. I'm actually wearing 511 tactical shorts, I think.
Tactical shorts. So you got the reinforced pockets.
Yeah.
So we don't see your Barbie doll collection.
Yeah. Well, no, you can see that. You can see some of the action figures right there. I don't hide those. I'm proud of those.
Everyone,
I'll do a video I'm really proud of about like a really like intricate topic, and I'll put it in a very succinct way, and I'm really proud of it. And then somebody just asked, "What kind of Gundam is that behind you?" Like they don't give a crap about anything I said. They just want to talk about my toys.
Caleb just said this is the most boring Harsey he's ever seen, and that might be true.
Mine is second, though. Mine's just got the. Let me grab it.
Yours has the racy black handle.
It's actually not that black, though. Actually, in person, it looks like a really, really, really dark bronze.
Oh,
it's technically black PVD, but the way it comes out, it looks like to me anyway, it looks like a really dark bronze. But yeah, I got the same blade as you, though.
Yeah, look at that. So I guess we're a couple of boring guys with these boring
Just
boring
a couple of boring guys.
Bill Harsey is the man. Okay, so tonight's knife fight. Now we're gonna do this again. Oh yeah, perfect for the 4Max. We're gonna do this again, kind of like last week. There's an obvious right or wrong answer, but it doesn't matter. You just have to pick what it is. So locking blades make folding knives more hazardous, and more hazardous is bad. True or false? Those are the sides we must.
Dumbest topic you've ever come up with for this.
Well, but it is the kind of topic you might run into.
I watch this show every week, and I have to say you've outdone yourself, sir.
Oh, thank you.
I don't think you should have. But you have.
All right, so I'll take the hard side then, and I will say that locking blades do make knives more hazardous, and more hazardous is bad. But first, I will let you defend.
Oh, I have to go first?
Blade.
Okay. So I'm saying the locking blades are safe.
Yeah, and I'll give you a minute and a half.
Okay, so I'm just going to say, it's just a fact. If you look at like your grandpa's friends, maybe even your grandfather, missing fingers a lot back then. People aren't missing fingers as much anymore. It's just kind of a thing. I don't know anybody in my age who's missing a finger. It's because of the locking blade. It saved fingers all over the country, all over the world, all over the universe. It just makes sense. You don't want it folding down on your hand when you're working on something. It's just pure logic. So hashtag save the fingers.
Ooh, hashtag save the... He comes up with a hashtag and everything. All right. Well, I'm just going to have to say that I can understand all of the arguments that those locking folder folks keep spouting, that the way they use their folding knives, it's pretty much necessary to lock them open. Otherwise, it's going to close on their fingers and hurt their fingers. Well, I would say that it's very important to know your tool and to know what the right tool for the job is. And if a folding knife is closing on your fingers, you've got the wrong tool. And I would say that you hear a lot of people bandy that excuse around, but really, I think it's covering for the fact that they're expecting to use that knife for something bad. And that's the only time I can imagine using a folding knife where it's going to actually fold on your hands. That's like when you're fighting, when you're trying to jam it through someone's leather jacket or something like that. So really, I think there are a lot of good intended, a lot of good intentions out there, a lot of good people who like knives and who own knives and locking knives. But really, I think it's a bad faith argument to say it's safety. I think it's the opposite.
It was an exquisite line of bullshit.
And if I had pearls, I would have clutched them. I don't know. Hashtag save the fingers.
If I had pearls, I would have clutched them. That's great. I'm going to use that.
Well, Jim just put hashtag save the fingers up, and I think that's I think that should take off.
Let's get it trending on the Twitterverse.
Caleb said, "I thought this knife fight was ridiculous, but then I remembered Europe was a thing." And remember, Caleb, there are always people willing to be way more ridiculous than you. Birdshot's missing a finger. Birdshot's missing.
I don't think he is.
I don't know. I still manage to get cut every now and then. That is true. I mean,
absolutely. I just had to go buy more Band-Aids today. That was one of the things on the grocery store list when I finally ventured out of the house for the first time. Was more Band-Aids. We not only have a lot of knives around the house, we also have 2 cats.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that alcohol. Swiss Army knife closing on your fingers, horrible thing. Apparently, Birdshot's missing a finger on his right hand. That's why you always see his left hand. He is amazing at manipulating knives with his left hand.
I never had any idea.
Lavender pants.
I never noticed.
No, me neither. Non-locking lightsabers from Tatooine resulted in a lot of lost fingers and hands. It is true. It is true. Now, of course, you all know
my friend doesn't like you either.
The 1% chance. Yeah. Axis locks, triad locks can hold way over 1,000 pounds, and some over. Yeah, Yeah. What do you need that for, Jared? Except for bad intentions. No, I'm just kidding. So we're talking
So
about.
I didn't get. I was thinking more dangerous towards the user. I didn't think more dangerous towards a person.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what any sort of person who's worried about knives is worried about.
I totally misread that question when you sent it earlier. I was thinking more dangerous towards like you hurting yourself. I didn't go straight to murder.
I went to where knife alarmists would go, at least as I thought. So we were talking about cuts. It's so much better. Like the cuts I've been getting, I've always gotten horrible cuts, but in the years since I've known how to sharpen knives and since I've gotten knives sharpened, they heal so much quicker.
They're nice and clean.
Yeah,
yeah.
They
it's
don't.
Just a nice clean little cut. It's all fine.
Yeah, no.
When my cat cuts me, I have a scar for 3 months.
Yeah,
cut myself with a knife 2 weeks. It's like it never even happened.
That's because when your cat gets you, it's a tear, and there's a little bit of poison in there too. Birchot is actually right-handed, but due to an industrial accident, he's missing some of his pointer finger. He's shown it a couple of times. That's why he struggles with his left hand opening. Actually, that's funny because I always notice he's a lefty, or at least in those videos. So I'm assuming he's holding the camera, and he's very good. I don't know, for what it's worth. For what it's worth. Well, Bryan, it's been great having you, sir.
It's been fun being on here.
What do you think? Who won? Let's see. What did Lavender Pants say? Let's see if he has
won. That's a question.
Should have said the safest knife is a non-locking one because the safest is a fixed blade. Oh, not bad. The knife that doesn't have a lock at all. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. We need to
call that a loophole in the industry.
Get Lavender Pants on here to argue for me next time.
Yeah.
Professor EDC says Lord Slicey. Lord, that's awesome, man.
That's me. Yeah. So it's my Sith name.
Well,
it's a long-standing joke we have.
Oh my God.
Because I said that I always said Metal Complex was my apprentice, but now he surpassed me, so I must strike him down as the Sith law dictates.
As the Sith law dictates.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, Bryan, it's been a pleasure having you. And I'd like to see you come back here real soon. I can't wait to see the next Knives Illustrated. And I will be Darth Slicey. I will be working on well, I started the outline today, and soon I will have an article in your hot little hands to go on there. I'm very excited about that. Cool. Thank you for having me on. It's been
thank you for having me. Hopefully next time I'll be feeling a little bit better. I made it through, but yeah, I got a little bit spacey there in the middle. So I was glad Mike was talking because I got a little bit spacey for a second, but I'm getting better. So and thank you everybody so much for all the well wishes and stuff. I really do appreciate it. Yourself included, Bob. So I do appreciate that, and I shall live. Sorry, I'm gonna make it. So.
Well, I'm shocked by your stamina. I mean, it's 11:30 at night where you are, and
I don't sleep. That's one of the things with this. So this is like my prime awake hours. So yeah, I'll be up till 2 or 3, and then sleep till 6 or 7, and then work till noon, and then go back to sleep for 4 or 5 hours. It's like this is completely thrown off my sleep. My sleep pattern was never great anyway, but this has made it.
This is making it worse.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, as Bryan said, make sure you take this seriously because it can seriously mess with you. So, do all the things you have to do. Bryan, thank you for coming on the show, and for Jim, who's working his magic behind the switcher. I'd like to say, please remember Saturday, August 8th. I'm sorry, Saturday, August 8th. Right here, we're going to have Knife Junkie Town Hall show and sell edition with some knife makers showing, explaining, answering questions, and selling knives right here on the show. So
that's really dangerous. I just realized I get my tax refund 2 days before that.
Oh, geez. Even better.
That's not good. That's not good.
Even better reason. All right, guys. Well,
don't tell my wife.
Just keep it on the low.
Yeah.
She doesn't watch this channel.
No.
All right, everybody. Thanks for showing up, and please remember, don't ever take dull for an answer. Thank you.